This film blends horror, comedy, and romance into a thrilling tale. Burying the Ex follows a young man whose life takes an unexpected twist. He and his girlfriend vow to be together forever, but fate has other plans when she tragically dies in an accident. Just as he begins to move on and finds love again, the unimaginable happens. His late girlfriend rises from the grave, determined to keep their promise of forever. The story begins with Max and his girlfriend Evelyn, who are deeply in love and live together. One day, Max kisses Evelyn and steps out of the room. As he enters the living room, he sees his cousin Travis sleeping on the couch with two girls. Travis frequently crashes at Max's place, bringing different women over every few days instead of going home. Annoyed, Max wakes Travis up and tells him they need to talk. He pulls Travis aside and scolds him for sneaking in unannounced with girls, warning him that Evelyn will get furious if she finds out. Just as they are talking, Evelyn walks into the room. Furious, she loudly wakes up the two girls and scolds Travis, kicking him out of the house. Although Max feels bad for Travis, Evelyn insists that she is doing this for his good. She convinces Max that it was the right thing to do. Later, Max leaves for work, where he works at a horror-themed clothing and accessories shop. As soon as he arrives, he gets a call from his boss, Mary. At the same time, a delivery man arrives and hands Max two packages. When he opens one of the boxes, he finds a strange genie figurine inside. A note attached to it reads, "Make a wish to the demonic genie, and it will be granted." However, Max does not recall ordering anything like this, so he places it aside. Inside the second box, he finds some items, including sample costumes of a nurse and a schoolgirl. Excited about the new costumes, Max calls Evelyn and invites her to the store to try them on. When she arrives, they start having fun together, indulging in their usual intimate moments. After things settle down, they have a heartfelt conversation and make a promise to never leave each other. They both wish to always stay together, unknowingly making their wish in front of the mysterious genie figurine. As soon as they make their wish, the genie's eyes glow red, and a strange smoke begins to rise from it, signaling that their wish has been granted. The scene then shifts to Max moving into a new house with Evelyn. After settling in, they decide to go out for ice cream, where they meet Olivia, a charming and cheerful girl. Max and Olivia quickly bond over their shared love for a particular ice cream flavor. However, Evelyn notices their chemistry and doesn't seem pleased. Evelyn starts feeling jealous, and as a result, a small argument breaks out between her and Olivia. Frustrated, Evelyn storms out of the ice cream shop. Max, caught in the middle, apologizes to Olivia and follows Evelyn outside. When they get home, Max confronts Evelyn about her behavior, asking why she acted that way. Evelyn admits that seeing him talking to another girl made her furious because she loves him deeply and doesn't want to lose him. She then opens up about her struggles. Her mother passed away just a few months ago, leaving her completely alone. Max is the only person she has left, which is why she takes their relationship so seriously. Understanding her emotions, Max doesn't argue any further. The scene shifts to the next day at Max's workplace. He is busy assisting a customer when he gets a call from Evelyn. She excitedly tells him that she has a surprise for him and asks him to come home as soon as possible. Upon arriving home, Max is shocked to see that Evelyn has completely redecorated the entire house. She has removed all the old decorations and replaced them with new ones, giving their home a fresh look. However, to Max's horror, she also took down a rare and valuable poster that he had been saving to sell and used the money to open his own store. Worse yet, she carelessly stuffed it into a drawer, causing it to get damaged. Seeing this, Max becomes furious. That poster meant a lot to him, and Evelyn had ruined it without even asking. Hurt by his reaction, Evelyn quietly walks into her room and locks the door behind her. Frustrated, Max goes to see Travis and tells him that he wants to break up with Evelyn. He feels suffocated by her behavior and doesn't see a future with her anymore. Max asks Travis for advice on how to end things with her for good. Travis suggests a strategy. Max should invite Evelyn to a public place and break up with her there. This way, she will likely get angry and react emotionally, making the breakup final and irreversible. Following Travis's advice, Max calls Evelyn and tells her he has a surprise for her, asking her to meet him as soon as possible. Excited and unaware of what's coming, Evelyn happily rushes to the location. However, as she crosses the street, tragedy strikes. She gets into a sudden accident. Max watches in horror as the accident unfolds and immediately runs toward her. Max rushes to Evelyn's side and sees that she is still alive but barely holding on. In a weak voice, she tells him, "I don't want to die. I want to stay with you forever." But before she can say anything else, she takes her last breath. Max is devastated. After her burial, he is consumed by guilt, blaming himself for her death. Overwhelmed with sorrow, he isolates himself, refusing to leave the house for weeks. A few days later, Travis visits him and tells him that he needs to move on. However, Max can't shake off the feeling that Evelyn's death was his fault. Seeing Max drowning in guilt, Travis tries to cheer him up and suggests that he should start fresh. To lift his spirits, He invites Max to watch a movie later that evening. At the theater, even though Max is out of the house, he still feels lonely and burdened with sadness. After the movie, as he's walking home, he hears someone call his name from behind. It's Olivia, the girl from the ice cream shop. They start talking, and Olivia asks, "Where's your girlfriend?" Max hesitates for a moment before telling her about Evelyn's passing, and that they had broken up before the accident. Olivia, sympathizing with his pain, reveals that she also recently went through a breakup. She then playfully suggests, "If you're free, would you like to join me? That day, you didn't get to try your favorite ice cream." Max, feeling a little lighter, agrees, and Olivia takes him to her ice cream shop. They spend time together, enjoying ice cream and engaging in deep conversations. As they walk back, they pass by a cemetery. Olivia playfully chases Max, making him run with her as they laugh. As they unknowingly pass by Evelyn's grave, an eerie silence falls over the night. Suddenly, something unnatural happens. Evelyn's grave trembles, and a hand bursts through the dirt. She rises from the grave as a zombie, her decayed body standing lifeless yet strangely full of purpose. The scene shifts back to Max and Olivia, who share a passionate kiss. After a while, Olivia pulls back and says, "I think we should slow down. Maybe I should go," referring to their earlier conversation. Olivia laughs but decides to leave. Max returns home feeling somewhat at peace for the first time in weeks, but just as he begins to relax, the doorbell rings. Thinking Olivia has returned, he opens the door, only to freeze in horror. Standing there, covered in dirt and looking deathly pale, is Evelyn. Terrified, he slams the door shut, his heart pounding. "This has to be in my head," he mutters, trying to convince himself that it's just his imagination. But curiosity gets the best of him. He cautiously opens the door again, and Evelyn is still standing there. His breath catches as she steps forward, her cold, lifeless eyes locking onto him. "Our love was real," she whispers, "so I came back." Max stares in shock as Evelyn, now a zombie, tries to embrace him. She clings to him, convinced that their love has defied even death. Panicked, Max somehow convinces her to take a bath, hoping to buy himself some time. As she disappears into the bathroom, the doorbell rings again. Max's stomach drops. He hesitantly opens the door to see Olivia standing there, smiling. "I was thinking about what you said," Olivia tells him. "Maybe we should give that storm and earthquake a try." Max's mind races. "No, I think we're rushing things," he quickly says. "We should take our time and get to know each other better before making any decisions." Just then, Olivia hears strange noises coming from inside the house. Suspicious, she asks, "Who's in there?" Max, trying to cover up the situation, quickly lies, "Oh, the noise isn't coming from my house. The walls here are really thin. You can hear everything from the neighbors." He somehow manages to convince Olivia and sends her away. The next morning, as the sunlight filters through the window, Max wakes up only to see Evelyn lying right next to him, causing him to panic. She, on the other hand, is desperate to reignite their passion and repeatedly insists on getting intimate. However, Max, horrified by the situation, quickly makes up an excuse and rushes out of the house. Frantically, he calls Travis and explains everything, warning him not to come anywhere near his house because Evelyn has returned. As a zombie, he tells him that she still believes they are dating and wants them to be together forever. But Travis laughs it off, assuming Max is either drunk or just messing with him. He dismisses the call, thinking it's all a joke. Left with no choice, Max looks for the genie figurine, hoping it might help him reverse whatever has happened. However, as he reaches for it, the figurine accidentally falls and shatters into pieces. Realizing he needs another solution, he pulls out a book about exorcisms and ways to get rid of lingering spirits. Taking notes, he sets out to gather the necessary items. But before he can, Evelyn suddenly appears beside him. With an unsettling smile, she says, "You need to die too. That way, we can be together forever." Terrified, Max quickly distracts her by suggesting they go out to celebrate their reunion. Intrigued, Evelyn agrees, and he takes her to a club. Once there, she starts dancing and drinking excessively. Unbeknownst to her, Max had arranged for her drink to be extra strong. As a result, she gets incredibly intoxicated, making it easier for Max to take her back home. However, as they step inside, Max slips, causing both of them to fall. Just then, Travis enters, sees Evelyn, and instantly realizes that Max wasn't lying. Evelyn really has come back from the dead. Paralyzed with fear, he watches as she stirs. The moment Evelyn regains consciousness, Travis completely freaks out, and in his panic, he even wets his pants before sprinting out of the house. The next day, Max is at work when Olivia unexpectedly arrives, bringing him lunch. They sit together, eating and talking, slowly rebuilding their connection. Just as they are about to kiss, Max's phone rings. He hesitates before picking it up, and to his horror, it's Evelyn. "I wanted to talk to you," she says sweetly. Max, trying to remain calm, responds, "I'll talk to you later. I'm busy right now." However, Evelyn insists, saying, "I love you," expecting him to say it back. Max, feeling trapped, stays silent, but Olivia is standing right there, watching him intently. Seeing no other option, and under Olivia's pressure, he finally mumbles, "Love you too." Unfortunately, Olivia overhears everything. She instantly pulls away and, with disappointment in her voice, says, "You don't need to lie to me. It's obvious what's going on. You're still not over your ex." Max desperately tries to explain. "No, you don't understand. I did break up with her, but she won't leave me alone." But Olivia refuses to listen. "If you want to be with me, then be with me. No one else." With that, she turns and walks away, leaving Max feeling helpless. Later that night, Max and Travis sit down to come up with a plan to get rid of Evelyn once and for all. Travis excitedly throws out ideas, but Max is overwhelmed because, as far as he knows, Evelyn is already dead. That's when Travis clarifies, "The thing in your house? It's not Evelyn. It's a zombie version of her." Determined, Travis then hands Max a plan, one that might finally end this nightmare once and for all. Travis comes up with all sorts of ideas to get rid of Evelyn, but Max remains hesitant. Finally, Travis hands him a sword and says, "Just take your chance and chop her head off when you can." Determined but still unsure, Max returns home and starts laying out a plastic sheet, preparing for the moment he might have to dispose of Evelyn's body. As he's setting things up, Evelyn walks in and asks, "What are you doing? Are you planning to repaint the house?" Thinking quickly, Max replies, "Yeah, you guessed it right." Evelyn then says, "Before you start, I'll do some yoga first." She begins stretching, but her movements are bizarre, her body twisting in unnatural ways, making it look like her bones are completely shattered. The sight unnerves Max, but he knows this is his chance. As Evelyn bends over, he grabs the sword and tries to strike, but at the last second, he freezes. He just can't bring himself to do it. In the next scene, Max rushes to Travis, who assumes the job is done, but Max confesses, "I couldn't do it. Killing someone, even if they're already dead, is much harder than I thought." Travis, frustrated, says, "Fine, if you won't do it, I will. Tonight I'll send her back to the grave where she belongs." Later, Max tells Evelyn, "I won't be home tonight. It's peak season, and the store is going to be packed with customers." Evelyn buys his excuse, and Max heads out, only to meet up with Travis outside. "Are you sure you can do this?" Max asks. Travis nods. "Yeah, just take Olivia to the cemetery like we planned. I'll take care of the rest." Once Max leaves, Travis goes inside and tells Evelyn, "I just came to get my DVD that I left here." Evelyn hesitates but lets him in for 2 minutes. Trying to kill time, Travis pretends to look for his DVD while waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Meanwhile, Max and Olivia arrive near the cemetery. As they sit together, their connection deepens, and they start kissing. Eventually, they move inside the car, ready to experience their psych moment together. Back at the house, Evelyn starts getting irritated with Travis's stalling. Losing her patience, she suddenly lunges at him. A brutal fight ensues between them. But despite his efforts, Travis is no match for her supernatural strength. In the end, Evelyn overpowers him and kills him. The next morning, Max wakes up next to Olivia and tells her, "I should head home soon." Olivia, exhausted, replies, "I'm super tired too. I think I'll just go home and get some rest." Max nods. "I'll call you later," he says, kissing her goodbye before rushing home. As soon as he steps inside, he's greeted by Evelyn, her appearance now even more grotesque than before. Max freezes in fear, realizing that by now, she should have been dead according to their plan, but here she was, still standing. Before he can react, Evelyn looks at him suspiciously and asks, "Why did you change your clothes?" Thinking quickly, Max scrambles for an excuse, desperately trying to keep her from realizing the truth. Max asks Evelyn, "What happened last night?" Evelyn casually replies, "I had dinner." That's when Max realizes something is wrong. He begins searching the house frantically, and to his horror, he finds Travis's lifeless body wrapped in plastic. Shocked and terrified, he yells, "You killed my brother!" Evelyn shrugs and says, "Yes, I ate him. He was annoying me too much." Her tone turns cold as she continues, "No more excuses, Max. You promised we'd be together forever, and now it's time for you to die, so we can finally be together for eternity." Thinking quickly, Max pretends to surrender. "All right, you can kill me," he says, "but first, at least prepare some warm water for me. Let's meet in the bathroom." Evelyn agrees and heads toward the bathroom, giving Max a brief opportunity to escape. Without wasting a second, he runs out of the house and rushes to the police station. Breathless and panicked, Max tries to explain everything to the officers. However, they dismiss his story as nonsense, thinking he's either drunk or hallucinating. Meanwhile, back at the house, Evelyn grows impatient waiting for Max. As she looks around for him, she notices a message on his phone from Olivia. Rage fills her undead heart as she realizes Max has betrayed her for another woman. Determined to end it, she storms out and heads straight for Olivia's ice cream shop. By the time she arrives, Olivia is already closing up for the night. Suddenly, she hears footsteps, and before she can react, Evelyn appears in front of her, her monstrous, decayed face twisted with anger. Terrified, Olivia backs away, but Evelyn grabs her by the throat and begins strangling her. At the same time, Max is still struggling to convince the police. Suddenly, an emergency call comes in. There's been an attack at the ice cream shop. Max instantly realizes what's happening and bolts out of the station, running as fast as he can toward Olivia's shop. But when he arrives, it's empty. Fear tightening his chest, he races home, dreading what he might find. Inside, Evelyn has already tied Olivia to a chair, preparing to finish her off. Just then, Max bursts into the house. "You betrayed me for her," Evelyn hisses. "I won't let her live," Max desperately pleads. "Evelyn, you're already dead. Let her go. She has nothing to do with this." But Evelyn doesn't listen. She lunges at Olivia, trying to strangle her again. Max has no choice. He fights back, attempting to push Evelyn away. Olivia, despite being tied up, struggles to free herself. Together, they both try to overpower Evelyn, but she is far too strong. Evelyn throws Olivia across the room, sending her crashing into a table, wounding her. Then, she grabs Max by the neck, choking him with supernatural strength. Struggling to breathe, Max flails his arms, trying to fight her off. Olivia, barely able to stand, grabs a heavy object and smashes it over Evelyn's head. But to their horror, Evelyn barely flinches. With no other choice, Max grabs a sharp glass shard and stabs it into Evelyn's head. She stumbles and falls on top of him, motionless. For a moment, they believe it's over. But then, Evelyn suddenly rises again, her eyes burning with rage. "You think you can get rid of me that easily?" she snarls. "Now I'm going to kill both of you together." Just as she is about to strike, bam! Out of nowhere, Travis appears, stabbing Evelyn through the chest with the sword. Max stares in disbelief. Travis? Max is absolutely stunned. How is Travis alive? Travis smirks and says, "Yeah, bro, I died. But now, I'm back as a zombie." With his newfound strength, Travis drags Evelyn's lifeless, or rather, undead, body to a grave and buries her for good. Afterward, Max turns to Olivia and apologizes for everything, for not telling her the truth earlier, and for all the chaos. But Olivia doesn't say anything. Instead, she pulls him in for a deep kiss, finally ending the nightmare that had haunted them. In the final scene, we see that Max has now opened his own shop inside Olivia's ice cream store. One day, Olivia walks in and playfully asks for the rent. Instead of money, Max surprises her with a ring. Seeing this, Olivia's face lights up with happiness. She accepts his proposal and kisses him lovingly. Meanwhile, outside the shop, Travis, still very much a zombie, enthusiastically promotes Max's costume business. His grotesque, undead face looks so realistic that people assume he's just wearing a really good Halloween mask, making him the perfect advertiser.